on, my friends? For today's episode, we're taking a look at the G-Shock Frogman. This is the 30th anniversary edition. I think it's real cool, so I just wanted to show it off to you guys. And let's get started. So starting off with my usual talking points. Price, you can find this new for around $620 if you can get your hands on one. Unfortunately, the market is filled with buyers and flippers and all that stuff. So because this is one of those hype pieces, I think most of them are being resold at a very significant upcharge. So unless you are a die-hard G-Shock fan and you absolutely have to own one, I definitely don't recommend falling victim to those upchargers. I think just wait a little bit. People like me will get bored of their watches, and who knows, maybe I'll put mine for sale at a significant discount. And then moving on to dimensions, I'm gonna go ahead and put those on the screen for you. Feel free to pause to see if those numbers work out for you or not. As you can see, they are slightly smaller than the previous generation of the Frogman. This is the GW-8230B-9AER. The numbers aren't different by much. Just keep in mind, this is slightly smaller. Regardless of what the numbers are, it's a very pleasant wearing watch. Now just going over some general information. So I guess they're using some type of new plastic. It's like an eco-friendly, whatever, resin. I don't really care about that. I think what's cool here is the module itself. Underneath the outer exterior is titanium. So unlike the previous generation, this one feels like a solid chunk of steel. It's like a hockey puck covered in resin. This one is stupid light. Is that a good thing? Personally, I don't think so. I prefer a little bit of heft. I'm not a fan of titanium because it is so light, but that is just my illogical way of thinking. In all reality, the lighter the watch, the better. You can wear this all day long, especially if you are like a, I don't know, a diver, or you're in some type of tactical situation. Having a lighter load on your overall body is gonna be better. It is also a solar watch, but oddly enough, it is not atomic. So that's kind of weird because all the other Frogmans that are released recently have atomic timekeeping. So I don't know why they didn't add that functionality here. Is that a deal breaker for me? Absolutely not, because atomic timekeeping is good, but if you're not in an area with a radio tower, then it's sort of, a useless feature. So quartz accuracy is gonna be good enough. I mean, realistically, plus or minus 15 seconds a month is nothing to complain about. And then you've got your typical standard hardware on other Frogmans if you're familiar with them. So 2 pushers on the side, and then 2 more pushers on the other side. And then here you've got your screw down caseback. Screw down casebacks on G-Shocks are just the coolest thing ever. Now let's take a look at the different modes and stuff, starting off with the main time display. So just like with your other typical Frogman, at the top left, you've got your second subdial. Right next to that, you've got your tide and moon data. And then underneath that, you've got your main time and calendar display. So very typical here. This is what we are used to from G-Shocks and Frogmans. And I think that's a great thing. Don't fix something that's not broken. This has been a formula that works, and I like it. And then on the bottom left, you've got your mode button. So this is how you're gonna scroll through the different modes. And we've got your log or dive log. So all of the information and times from your most recent dive and previous dives are gonna be logged here. And then you've got your tide data, your world time, alarm, stopwatch, timer, and then back to main time. And to access dive mode, you're gonna hold the mode button here, and then now you are in dive mode, and you can start and stop your dives here. And then to exit, you're gonna hold that again to go back to regular time or main time. This also comes with a very cool backlight, which you access through this top right pusher right here. With the backlight, you can see a little Frogman design in the screen or in the display. And I think that's cool. It gives it a little personal touch, some character that you don't normally see from other Frogmans. Usually they're very professional and just straight to business, but this one, it looks like they had a little bit of fun with it. You know, maybe this is more of a collector's item and not necessarily a dive tool, which of course it can very well handle the elements, but the fact that they have that little, you know, art in the background, I think it's more fun than it is practical. And now just taking a look at the exterior, I think what really makes the Frogman so cool are these screws here, and then how, you know, the main module is slightly offset to the side, and all of that, you get this awesome, funky looking futuristic watch, which I think appeals to all of us, especially for those of us that grew up in the 80s and 90s. You know, this is like that perfect watch that would fit in one of those old-fashioned sci-fi movies, and I think that's the coolest thing ever. And then the color scheme that they went with here, so it's sort of like a dark navy blue paired with gold and yellow. You know, you've got little highlights of gold everywhere. It just screams classic G-Shock, and I really like that. One thing I felt like they could have done to have really perfected this version is to have a polarized screen. I'm a little bit disappointed that they didn't take the opportunity to add that in there. If you've never seen a G-Shock with a polarized screen, I'm telling you, they are the coolest thing ever. And I think that yellow sort of green display would have paired perfectly with these gold pushers and gold screw heads here, and, you know, yellow text. But whatever, hopefully we'll see something like that in the future. And then taking a look at that case back again, very cool. I love the screw down case back. I love the art there. It's, you know, it's the same as your other Frogmans, but I like the fact that they kept it. Now, I do prefer the older style better, but it is still cool nonetheless. And then on the bracelet, you've got, you know, this dual clasp system here, this buckle. And I think, again, that pairs perfectly with the gold and yellow highlights around the rest of the watch. And then we do have a resin or rubber keeper here, and that is good. Usually on these watches, they put like a metal keeper and it doesn't do anything. But in this case, this one actually works and it functions the way that it should. So I like that. So that's pretty much it. That's just the quick and dirty of my thoughts on this watch. Again, I'm not really trying to review it. I just want to show you how it looks in different angles of light and on the wrist and sort of in action and things like that. My overall thoughts are, you know, this is really more for the serious G-Shock collector. I don't recommend this one if you are looking for a Frogman. Personally, I think the older generation is much better. I think this is like the quintessential Frogman and the quintessential G-Shock period. Like if you want to be a G-Shock collector, you've got to get this one, the GW-1000. It is awesome in, you know, every aspect. Every little thing about this watch is fantastic. And this one is really more for after you've experienced this one, and then, you know, you kind of just want to continue your collection. That's just my personal thoughts, right? If you really like this, then go ahead and get one. I just don't think it's worth, I don't think it's worth $600, let alone the upcharge of other collectors. But it is still fun and it's still very cool. And that's about it. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. I always appreciate you guys coming to watch my stuff. Feel free to leave a comment and, you know, drop a like if you can, or dislike, up to you. But anyways, I'll catch you guys on the next episode and have a good one. Bye.